Well, welcome back to our updated beginner's guide to having a successful start to a city in SimCity. What I want to do in this episode is I want to start the process of kind of a wrap up. Let's talk about some options, some next steps for a city like this at this particular stage. I also want to kind of talk about some future plans. But before I do that, what I want to discuss is in my playlist. I have a variety of tutorial videos that you're more than welcome to watch. When you go to my playlist, I have an Understanding SimCity series. I also have a SimCity 101 series in which I will devote time to a specific topic, such as City Hall, the Great Works Project, taxes, how to deal with traffic, how to deal with education. So I just wanted to make you aware of the fact that you are more than welcome to go to my playlist and look for these two series. A lot of times you may have a question that has already been answered within the playlist. At the end of this video, I will link both my Understanding SimCity and my SimCity 101 playlist for you to check out if you've got any specific topics that you'd like to see covered. And of course, if there's anything that's not on there, if you've got additional questions, you know you're more than welcome to put those in the comments and I will answer them. And it's possible I'll even create a video on that specific question. So let's take a look and see where we are. So we have skyscrapers. We have quite a nice amount of simoleons in the account. We have processors. So to me, this is a sign this city is in its middle stages of its evolution, of its growth. So what I want to do is let's kind of talk about some next steps. If I were to continue on, and I want to be careful that I don't turn this beginner's guide into a let's play, but the big thing that we were talking about is the fact that the oil, this beginner's guide is not only about how to get a city started, but how to get a city started with a specialization. And we started out with oil because it's an inexpensive and it's a good entry level specialization. But oil or coal will run out. So that's the reason why I started that transition to a different, what I consider a mid-level specialization. And we could have definitely stayed. We could have stayed with oil and when we ran out of oil, import it and to create fuel. But this is just one of several options that I just wanted to point out. If we were to continue on, we would get this to the point where we could upgrade it. It looks like, I've been observing this for several game days. It looks like to get what we need as far as an upgrade, we would need another processor factory. So let's pretend that we are running out of oil, and let's start the process of transitioning one of these oil wells, and then we'll replace it with another processor factory, and then maybe we'll do consumer electronics. For demonstration purposes, we are going to assume that we have run out of oil in that location, which we would have eventually. So let's take our new space here and let's put down, yeah, let's do it here. Do a sign and And I may not need all of these modules. Because I want to save space for my consumer electronics. Or, let's do this. Ah, look. See that space? See how it has gone from black to, so underneath that oil well, we were running out of oil. So let's get rid of, and let's see if now we can put, yes, wonderful. And instead of putting down 4, we'll just stay with 3, because really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to export enough oil to satisfy the upgrade. We should be fine with, we may be pushing it, but we should be fine with 1 trade depot with 1 lot of alloy and 1 lot of plastic. We'll see. We seem to be doing fine at this point. I know that 1 lot of each can support 2 processor factories. We'll see what happens with a 3rd processor factory, and if that's the case, it's just a matter of putting down another lot. But yeah, we just satisfied the need there, and we are out of plastic, so that's an indication that we're probably at the max that this 1 trade depot can do, and we would need to add on more lots. We have now exported enough processors that we can upgrade our headquarters. Now with the upgrade, it unlocks 2 options for us. Option number 1 is the Consumer Electronics Division. So this is where we can start the process of creating televisions or computers or both. And then we have the Commerce Division. That's if you're wanting to get into the market as far as trade ports and things of that nature. What I want to do is I want to continue the process of making more profit for my city. So let's place the Consumer Electronics Division. Let's place it across the street. Now that I've done that, as you'll see, we have now unlocked the Consumer Electronics Factory. Let's place it. Of course, we need to hire. Now we're going to need all of the same things that we're already importing or creating. So at this point, now what I want to do, let's add more lots because we're going to need them. So it comes with a TV assembly. Let's get rid of the TV assembly. Let's put down computer. Let's do another computer. And we also need to export computers. So now let's come over here. Let's place down a computer storage lot. It's close to the road leading out of the city, which is wonderful. Let's manage and let's export for an even greater profit, of our processors. We can monitor it. For the most part, the simulation does a good job of sending processors to the factory and also exporting there without having to tell the trade depot to use the processors locally. It automatically started to send some processors to the consumer electronics factory, but also sent some to the depot. So when we are full of processors here, leftover processors will be sent to the depot and we will continue exporting. So now we are exporting oil, we are exporting processors, using some of the processors, and exporting computers once we have produced enough computers. I now have a trade depot lot with both processors and computers ready for export. Here comes our first truck to pick up our first export of computers. And now, computer truck is leaving. And remember, this is not our truck. This is a truck generated by the simulation from the region. So we are now in the industry of creating and exporting oil. As long as the oil is available to be extracted from the ground, we're in the industry of creating processors, and we're also in the industry of creating computers. So as the computer delivery truck goes off in the distance, here comes a processor truck to make another pickup and export of processors. As you get more and more into a specialization, you're going to notice that it is going to become more and more costly to run that specialization. So as you can see here, our specialization is now just under 10,000 simoleons an hour. However, if you think about what we are exporting, if you look at our monthly export and what it is saying we're going to be bringing in our profit plus transactions, this is a minuscule amount. So if you're wondering how do I balance the budget, once you get well into a specialization, you just can't. The only way that you can balance the budget, and this is it's not always guaranteed, is to have a large enough population where your tax income can compensate. But once you get a large population, now you're running into potential traffic issues. So the way I look at it, this city is my moneymaker. This is the city that's going to be making funds for me, and I can take those funds, send them out to other cities, and turn those cities into my high population. So you don't always have to do everything in one city plot. If you want to spread it out, you can, and that's the way that I approach it. This city, my first city of a region, I never attempt to go for a massive population. I want to get a city up and running. I want to make sure that it's healthy, safe, well educated, all of those things. But most importantly, I'm trying to get it to the point where we are making enough of a profit where I can send that profit off to other cities. Speaking of sending a profit off to another city, let's talk about creating a relationship. So here on Region View, you can click on Region View, and it's now going to show not only the city that you're currently working on, but it's going to show all of the other cities in the region as well as the great work. You get a new set of tabs, and these tabs are all about that relationship to the other city. Now, the first set of tabs are going to show what's going back and forth between the city. I rarely consult my worker tab, my shopper tab, my freight tab, and the education tab. I find that these four tabs are not exactly reliable. Or maybe it's just me, but I do not get a lot of information or a lot of use out of these tabs. So if I have a city up and running here, it will show me, if I were to click on workers, it would show who's going back and forth from one city to another for work purposes, or who's going back and forth to shop. The reason why I find it unreliable is there have been times where I will click on education, and my highly educated city, the city that has lots of educational opportunities, it will show that the students are going to the city that does not have a lot of educational opportunities. So I find that those four tabs are not 100% reliable. The tabs that I do rely on are the tabs that are allow me to send resources or to set up a resource relationship between cities. So when it comes to setting up that relationship, if you wanted to, for example, we want to start a new city, it's going to take us time to place, say, garbage, fire, health, police. You can send those resources to the city, and it's just a matter of the city that you're in. You click the city that you want to send things to, then you click on garbage, and it's going to show you how many garbage trucks you have available. You can tell it, I'd like to send one garbage truck, and it's going to now have a garbage truck go to this city periodically and pick up garbage. We can send fire, we can send an ambulance, and we can also send police. We do not have Omega at this time, but we could send Omega trucks. We do not have a futurized city where we could send ControlNet. But the thing that we can send money. We can send simoleons to another city. So this shows you how many simoleons you have, how many simoleons the other city has, and you can send simoleons. When you click on gift, you can see not only can you send simoleons, but remember, this city also has alloy. This city has computers, we have processors, we don't have fuel, but we do have oil. We can send those things to that city. Now you want to make sure that the city has a trade depot set up for it, but you can send those things. As far as sending funds, it just automatically shows up in the city's bank account. You do not have to have a town hall or a city hall in the city at this time. So let's go ahead and just send. We'll send some funds. Let's click send gift. When you send, don't immediately go to the city that you're sending the funds to. Wait a while. Wait till you get this notification, Simoleon gift sent to this city, because if you immediately click over, the simulation may lose track of what it is that you're doing. So now what we can do is we can click on this city, visit it. So now we're in our neighboring city. We're going to start to see all of the things that we have unlocked, all the things the Department of Utilities, the Department of Transportation, whatever we've unlocked over here, it's going to start to tell us that those things have been unlocked. So we're going to start getting notifications. At some point, the simulation is going to recognize that a gift has been sent, and it's going to say, now it's telling us that Petro Bay's ambulance is on the way, so it will send the ambulance. It's going to tell us that there's our simoleon gift. And then if you look at our bank account, you will see that those funds have now arrived. So you need to be in this city to send funds, resources, and vehicles. From the city that we're in, we can go to region view, and the thing that we can do from here is we can purchase. We can say we do not have electricity. So we can click on it and it's going to show us there is power, there's electricity available for us to purchase. You have to pay for it to purchase from our neighboring city. So we can click on buy. Now you see the arrow shows that electricity is being sent here. We want water. We can click buy water. And we want to send sewage there. Now as you can see, we don't have the capacity for it. It will let you know about capacity. It will let you know if you do not have a road connection. But at least we can purchase electricity and water. And the thing that you want to keep in mind is over here, if you do not have the capacity for it, then what will happen is in this city, it will say Petro Bay has stopped sending water to you. Petro Bay has stopped sending electricity to you. So this is a great start to your city. But what I would always recommend is that you use that as just that, as a start. But you want to start thinking about providing your own electricity or water to your city. Now, there is a way, there is a method, and we'll talk about it in a different tutorial, in which one of your cities is solely for the purpose of sending utilities, and that's a city where you have just enough residents to be able to run and operate multiple electric power plants, multiple water, multiple sewage, and then you can purchase that. But that's how you would set up that relationship between two cities. Now back in your first city, you'll see when we click on budget, because we sent a simoleon gift to the other city, now everything is in red. That's going to be temporary. As the city continues to export and make money, it'll start to compensate for what we sent out. So when you get back to your city after sending a simoleon gift, don't don't think that something is wrong. The simulation, the budget is just taking into account the fact that a pretty substantial financial gift was sent to the other city. So let's recap. When we began this beginner's guide, of course, we were looking at an empty, a blank city plot. We started out with dirt roads and we created two neighborhoods, an industrial area, a residential area. We had a dirt road roundabout. We had roads leading to all of our neighborhoods, and over time, we started adding different services: city hall, fire, power, water, sewage, education, transportation. We extended out to another neighborhood, another industrial neighborhood here. Of course, the main focus of this beginner's guide was getting started with a specialization. We started out with oil. We made a nice profit with oil. We started to realize and compensate for the fact that the oil's not going to last forever. And we started to branch out into one of just several options and directions that you can go in. But this is where I would really say that we're in that middle stage of the city. So once again, I don't want this to turn into a let's play, but when you think about it, we've grown, and I've tried my best to cover all of the things that I would like to discuss to just to help you get a good start with the city. You will notice two things. I really paid a lot of attention to roads and traffic. Roads and traffic are key. I've had several people comment on other tutorials and other Let's Plays that I didn't realize just how important traffic and roads are. Yes. And then we also spent a lot of time talking about education and tech level, but even more so towards education because of all of the peripheral positive effects that education has on a city. So they're going to commit less crimes. They're going to put solar panels on their homes. They're not going to start as many fires. They're not going to consume as much water. All of those things allowed us to not have to worry and to have to start upgrading fire departments and health and police. Now, of course, yes, this is a relatively smaller population city, but it anything that can help us from a budget standpoint is a good thing. So I hope this has been helpful. Please leave comments. What questions do you have? What can I answer? Um, I try my best to cover as much as I can, or what I think um, is important to cover, but please, is there something that you need help with? What can I discuss in the comments, or what can I do a video on? Definitely let me know. Now, we have done a updated beginner's guide to getting a standard city up and running. We have a region with multiple city plots. We have a region with a great work. We have sent money to a city over there. So what are some things that we can get into? I am thinking that a beginner's guide to Omega would be something that would be of interest. Do we want to do a beginner's guide to Cities of Tomorrow? Omega is a part of Cities of Tomorrow, but do we want to actually focus in not just on Omega, but on the Academy, on Mega Towers? Do we want to spend some time on how I would approach a great work? What is it that we can take some time and do some videos on? We've got multiple city plots. I can keep this region and use it for tutorial purposes. But yeah, definitely let me know what what it is that we can focus on, what it is that we can discuss. But as far as this particular beginner's guide is concerned, I think we've covered it, but I am so happy to offer more information if need be. But I really do hope this has been helpful. I hope the whole purpose, my very first video that I did, I said if I can just help one person to have a successful start with a city in SimCity, and that's always been my goal. So yeah, just let me know if there's anything that I can do, anything that we can go over. But please have fun with your cities. Enjoy. We will see you next time for what I'm not sure exactly what, but I feel pretty confident that this series will go on. It just won't be called an updated to beginning a city. It will be called a beginner's guide to another aspect of SimCity. But until then, we will see you later. Take care and have fun with your city.